Hi there, it's Dr. MBuddy, and I like to make little videos to help you get started with your projects. So this will be your first program that you're writing. That's a challenge by itself. An important thing to do, particularly with these initial ones, is to figure out how to do this on pencil and paper. You got to do, if you can't solve the problem in your head or on paper, you're not going to be able to write a program to do it. So you got to own this problem. You got to figure it out, independent of writing the program. So in this case, we are creating little puzzles. Figure out how to do the puzzle first, or figure out how to create puzzles first using the instructions that we give you, and then go and try to figure out how to write a program. Now, when you write a program, one of the things that's handy to do, particularly with Python, is you can play around with things in the shell. And what I'll do is, here I'll take a couple minutes and I'll show you how to do something in terms of playing around with the shell. But I sort of assume that you've stopped and figured out how to work this problem out with pencil and paper. If you haven't done that yet, do that, then come back to the video. But let's take a look at things, assuming you've gotten to that point. Now, what are we trying to do here? So in this case, we're trying to write a program that will create puzzles such as this. I'm a 3-digit number. My tens digit is 5 more than my ones. My hundreds is 8 less than my tens. What is the number? So we're not solving that problem. We are building this puzzle. All right. And as an example, down at the bottom, we give you some to play with. So for example, that puzzle was this one. And so what do? We take a 3-digit number, in this case 194, and we look at the difference between the tens digit and the ones digit. So here's the tens digit, here's the ones digit, here's the hundreds digit. All right. And so the tens digit is 5 more than the ones digit. So that's really saying 9 minus 4. But, yeah, and that gets the 5. There's the 5 right there. And the hundreds is 8 less than the tens. And so we take the tens and we subtract the hundreds, right, which is the 9 minus the 1, and that gives us an 8, and that's that 8, right? So that 5 is there, that 8 is there. And so we are starting with a number and then building this puzzle. In order to do this, you've got to figure out the 1 and the 9 out of this puzzle. I mean, the 1, 9, and the 4 out of this puzzle. How do you do that? Well, that's what we'll take a look at here. I would like to find each one of these digits. So given any number, so here we got 491, all right? I want to be able to extract out that, yes, the hundreds digit is the 4, the tens digit is the 9, and the ones digit is the number 1. Okay, that's really what this program is about. Once you've done that, you can do a subtraction and a print statement and get these 3 lines printed out. So that's what we're trying to do here. So the way I go about writing a program, and let's take let's take it here. There we go. First thing I like to do is let's get a number in here. So and let's try this out. So enter a 3-digit number. Now you actually have to write out more than that, but I'm just getting started here. And what I do is immediately print out what I just did. Now you're going to have to save this. I've already saved this once. Enter a 3-digit number, 384. Okay, and I just printed that value. Okay, good. now if I have a number, well, first of all, I'm going to have to, this comes in as a string. And one thing I did here is I turned on Variable Explorer, and I can see that my num string is in fact of type string, and the reality is that I want to have that as an integer. So let's make it num int, and let's take the int of my num string. All right, and now let's print that. It'll actually print the same thing. There I go. My number is 294, just to do something different. And now we can see that up here, my num int is of type int, and my num string is of type string. They both have the same values, but one's an int and one is a string. So let's play around with that in the shell. So I can say num int gives me the number. If I wanted to, I could have printed that. Num int does the same thing. Looks a little different. One says out and the other one doesn't. We'll talk about that more as we go along, but there's two different ways that I can ask for what the value of that is. Now let's play around with this. Well, if I divide this number by 100 and then find out what the remainder is, that's 94. Ooh, that's kind of neat. Notice that my number was 294, and with this I just yanked off the last 2 bits. So let's try to actually get it down so it's just the 9. Let's get it to be the tens digit. How might I do that? I can use my arrow keys and I can get back the expression that I had before. And so the question might be, well, can I take that 94 and divide it by 10? No, that doesn't give me, that gives me 9.4. That doesn't work. Well, suppose I did a percent of 10. That got me a 4. Ooh, there's the ones digit. Well, isn't that nice? We've got a ones digit. So I could call my ones digit that. But, and I can say ones int is now this thing that I have there. And I can look up, I can say, all right, what's the value of one's int? And it's a 4. And if I look up above here, I see one's int, its type is int, its value is 4. Ooh, that's nice. And now that I've done that, and that checks out, I could go and put that up here into my program. And let's see here, I can say print ones int, and I can, all right, ooh, that's pretty good. And so you can go and play around with your num int and in your shell, until you get some value that works. So you've got, what do you have to work with? Well, you have you have the division. Oh, look at that. There's a value I have. Oh, that's my hundreds digit, right? And so you can go through and now the question is, all right, I did that. How do I get the tens digit out of that? All right. And once you have it, you can plug it into your program. Let's take the number 1, 2, 3, and I'm printing out the units or the ones, and that gives me a 3. And of course, you should try it out with a bunch of numbers to make sure that it works. Once you've got those individual numbers, now you can actually go and solve the rest of the program. So with that little bit of help, let me leave it to you, and good luck with it.